Hi, T. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a really disrespectful sovereign citizen who says, I made my kids in private, I'll raise them in private. Well, sir, you're the one that made it public, so that's on nobody else but you. So he's just really disrespectful throughout this entire hearing, which it's a sovereign citizen, so we know how disrespectful they could be. But before I start the video, please like and subscribe, turn on those notification bells. That way you are notified every time I post a crazy sovereign citizen. So without further ado, let's get into the video.
Just to let you know, Mr. Smith, it's the middle of page one,
Yes.
he does not want to deal with me because he does not have a contract with 4D, with any 4D workers, so he doesn't want really to talk to me. He wouldn't talk about the motion, so I'm going to submit a recommendation that the motion be denied.
Okay.
Okay, he's very
really
difficult. I know that you read through all the paperwork. He is the individual that was talking about how he has continued to talk about that he's, he has all these constitutional rights, and he's I don't know, I can't even explain what it is he's trying to get to or what he's trying to talk about. So okay, there's not much I can do. He just basically told me that I'm not someone that he's willing to talk to because he doesn't have a contract with me.
He maybe doesn't want to talk with me either, but you can get Sarah. You can bring him in.
I can get him. Yeah, and I'm in the process of sending you the recommendation that the motion is denied, but I can go and get him, bring him in.
Thank you.
Thanks.
A motion of the defendant, Father David Smith Jr., to modify custody and parenting time. This hearing.
So right off the bat, we hear he's here to modify custody and parenting time. So with his little statement, I made my kids in private, I'll raise them in private. Well, like, again, I said, he's the one that, filed the motion, and I get it, right? Us as parents, we understand. We want to see our kids more. So I understand why he filed the motion, but the fact that he is, upset about having to come to court and deal with this because he doesn't have a contract through the court, well, I mean, it may not be a contract, but dude, this is like the law that you have to do and the steps you have to take in order to modify custody and parenting time. So he just, again, a sovereign citizen, they never make any kind of sense, but he is just talking out of his ass basically and just knows nothing and just wants to be this Billy Badass pretty much in the courtroom when he's the one that filed the motion, which makes no sense because, yeah, again, you could be a sovereign citizen, but when it comes to modifying your parenting time, you could cut the bullshit. And because I feel like the judge is going to, base things off of like how you conduct yourself in court, your attitude, all of that. So like if I were going to court to modify my parenting time, I would be on my best behavior and I would not disrespect the judge and I would be very respectful like any person should be. But it's just crazy how he comes in hot and upset at the court system because this is what he has to do. And again, yeah, it sucks. It sucks that you have to file a motion in order to see your kids more. I understand that. It sucks. But it's the law and it's things that we have to do. So, I don't know. Just wait.
Is being conducted via Zoom. Present is Sherry Zorn, as well as David Smith Jr. Mr. Smith, it is now 9 o'clock and you are before Judge Brownick. Good morning.
Sir, I can barely hear you. I was in my vehicle where I could, and fortunately, we're back in front of Title 40 incentivization. If you could give me a second so I can make it back out to my vehicle so I could hear you, I would appreciate it.
Okay. Do you want to zoom back in then?
I'm parked right outside the door. If you give me 60 seconds. I
Okay,
had
if
to
you wanna
come
hang up
back
and you can-
inside because whatever just went on.
Mr. Smith, your current parenting time is alternating weekends, Friday at 5 till Sunday at 7 with your 2 children. Is that correct?
Yeah, but we work outside of the order. I mean, I got numerous evidence that we do work outside of the order. That was arbitrarily done to maximize the dollar amount pursuant to Title 4D.
Well, that's wonderful that you can both be flexible about parenting time with your
That
work
is.
schedules and the children. That's once we work together. I'm just noting that the last
Absolutely.
order of the court, August 2015, because I do review these files in advance. I review your motions. I review the past orders. I review the history of the case, Mr. Smith.
I appreciate that.
So I'm just noting that the last order gave you specific parenting time, alternate weekends, Fridays at 5 to 7 at 7, Sunday at 7, and you could have additional parenting time, but that's what your absolute minimum. Now, in your motion, you're asking for an 80-20 split pursuant to your 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. I don't know, this is not a constitutional issue. It's a state law issue, Mr. Smith. And in order for, first of all, have you talked with Ms. Dorn this morning? Do you have, the two of you have an agreement? Certainly, if you have the agreement, you know what's best for your 2 children.
Sir.
We do not.
Am I
Okay. So is there any merit in talking, Ms. Zorn and Mr. Smith?
I object. I made my kids in private. I'll raise them in private. Kids, this is a non-TANF case. Am I presumed to be innocent at this time with all my constitutional rights in full force and effect, sir?
Absolutely, you're innocent, but there's no criminal charges here, so I'm not sure what you're innocent of.
But,
Mr. Smith, no one's accusing you of anything. I'm just asking, normally the 2 parents will talk, and maybe they come to their own agreement, but that apparently is not to be possible this morning.
This is a non-TANF case getting treated as a TANF matter. I want split custody, mutual agreement, all Title 4D incentivization cease and desist immediately. I will be sending letters out today to all parties that touch this case negatively, and I'm pursuing charges 42 U.S.C. 1983 and Article 3 corporate deprivation of rights. This is arbitrarily done underneath color law. I do not consent. I have not contracted with Title 4D. I would submit into the court's blessing versus Freestone, Wehunt versus Ledbetter, sir. I don't presume ignorance on the court behalf today. Therefore, I'm left to believe something much more sinister is going on here.
Mr. Smith, under it's not a constitution, under state law, Michigan law, there must be...
I do not acquiesce to state law, sir. I operate on federal law only. This is impeding my rights. I am going to transfer it to Article 3 court and pursue. I'm going to file an emergency injunction if I can't even make my bills. Due process has been violated. Fair Creditors Act of 1970, you guys are taking well over half of my check. I can't even make my bill. This forces me into my 13th Amendment, which is enslavement. Pursuant to no lawful money, this is a bill of pen and penalty underneath Article 1, Section 16 of the Constitution, sir. Do not consent. I do not consent. I have not consented.
This man is unhinged. Like, yeah, it's sad that, you know, child support's taken so much, but don't make so many kids or stay with your wife. I'm sure you're such a delight to be with. And also, shout out to Enemy of the State. If you want to watch this with none of my commentary, then you could go to that channel. But yeah, I just want to give him credit for this video.
Your position is duly noted for the record, Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith,
Thank you.
under Michigan law, which this court is bound to follow, there must be a change of circumstances that would support a modification of custody and parenting time. In your motion, you've not alleged any change of circumstances that would warrant a review of custody and parenting time. So with all due respect, the court at this time will deny your motion to change custody and or parenting time.
I have the right to my privacy. I can't even make my bills with what you guys have done here today. I can't, honestly, I have proof. I would like to submit into the court's Exhibit A if there is no objection. I have a pay stub right here. I work 58 hours a week at $30 an hour. I come home with less than $300. I can't even make my bills.
That's an issue of child support, Mr. Smith. You're asking to modify custody and parenting time today.
I am not here. I'm here
modify
to
support.
exist.
File such a motion.
4D. Sir, do you have a contract in dispute with me? I'm asking the court, Ms. Zorn, to place into the court all evidence she has partied on my contract. If not, I motion to dismiss with prejudice, failure to state a cause of action. This goes against my Constitution, sir. Yeah, I understand Michigan law, but it must be in compliance with the Constitution. This has violated me as a man numerous times, and now I can't even make my bill. I'm asking you to give me 50-50 split of my kids. I made them in private.
This man is unhinged. Like, yeah, it's sad that, you know, child support's taken so much, but don't make so many kids or stay with your wife. I'm sure you're such a delight to be with.
Will raise them in private. There is no need in dispute, nor has there ever been. You know what, sir, underneath Article 1, Section 13, Paragraph 5, I want to face my accuser. If we could please swear Miss Zorn in so I could face my accuser here today, sir, I would appreciate it.
Right, to Mr. Smith, perhaps you should consult a constitutional lawyer. This matter is guided by state law. The court has made decisions.
Sir,
No change of circumstances that would warrant a change of custody for any time. The court will not argue over you, Mr. Smith. So that will conclude, sir. You can zoom out.
Determination of this case.
In order.
I love how this judge just keeps talking over this rude, awful soft sit, because I've covered a lot of cases with sovereign citizens that run courtrooms, and I'm so glad that this judge is not allowing this fool to run his courtroom at all.
Will be entered. All right, Mr. Smith,
do you have a
consulting attorney.
predetermination of this case, sir?